mine completely different. Okay. I do my smidget game when I am doing my rock and serves. When I am telling them what they can do in their rock and serves, I will stop at that point and tell them we're going to play a game later on in the party. I want everybody to take a smidget. Do not open them. You can hold them in your hands. Play with them. Think about what you can do with them. Do not open them at the present moment. We are going to play a game in a little bit. And just hold on to them. And then I keep going on with my rock and serve game rock and serve demo and talk about that. So then when we get to the smidget game, I stop and I tell them, I say, okay, this is a dating game that we're going to be playing. There is 16 smidgets in my box that I gave you earlier. 8 of them say that you have won me for a fun party, and you get to keep the smidget, and you get a pick out of my bag, and I dump it out so they can see everything. And when you date a party, and you date your party and you hold it on the original date, you get to do a supersize. So you will get to pick out one of the smaller items in here. Keychains, you can do the stuffables. I've got the measuring cups. I've got the heat and serves and a rock and serve. And I tell them that they will not only get to keep their smidget, they get a bag pick, and they will get a chance to supersize on the original date. What's the original date? So you say, okay, you're opening it up and you've got June 2nd. June 2nd, I come to her party and I will supersize in the stuffables. And normally at the beginning of the show, I have given the hostess her larger item already and said, and already explained that this is her supersize and handed it to her with all her hostess gifts. So they've already seen that that has happened and they knew what was going on. So then I tell them, okay, go ahead. So 8 of them say that you have won me. You get the bag pick, you get a supersize, you get to keep the smidget. The other 8 say that you get to keep the smidget. Do not open them yet. And the other 8 say that you get to keep the smidget and you have a chance to pick again. So the worst thing that you could do is date a party with me today, then do not open them, just give them back to me. I'm not here to make anybody do anything they don't want to do. I am fine with you just giving them back to me, or at this time you can go ahead and open them. And then they either throw them back at me or they open them. They're opening. They're opening. Are you opening? No. I'll open it. If you don't want to open it, it's okay. Just hand it back to me. You don't. Oh. Hers is empty.
That means I get a free gift, right?
That means you get, free party. Woo! Have a chance to pick again. And if they get to have the chance to pick again, then I do go back over and offer them, right? I go, okay, would you like to pick again? And then there she goes. She picked another one. And I used to date almost 0 to 1 parties before I added my supersize. And now I have been dating about 3 to 5 with my parties now. So, did you win a fun party? I did. All right. Did you win a fun party? So she could get the pick. Do all the fun stuff. The supersize has definitely been the one that's added the dating to that. Not only do they get the bag pick, but adding the fact that they get to supersize on the day of their party. So they're technically actually getting 2 large items plus their smidget.
With the odd, they got to keep their smidget and pick 2 of my gadgets.
What are your gadgets?
Normally my gadget, and I got a little nervous being on there. Normally I hold them up and I'll tell them what they are. Like I have an egg separator. This gets the boiled egg out of the scalding hot water. A little tea bag squeezer or a puppet, whichever you have nets. Yeah. Have fun with it though. I mean the tongs, I got pill organizers. So I get you 2 gadgets in your container.
Okay.
And then you get one of my larger prizes to take home today. Or you take home a keychain with you today and I supersize it at your party. But that means you've won me for a fun Tupperware party.
1 large item.
1 large item.
Don't do anything if someone does a book party?
No, I don't. These are for in-home parties only. But what you can do is show your books around and collect some orders and just have 1 or 2 people over when I come to do your party. And then that's a party. Yeah.
Oh, and
I do have a copy. I didn't bring enough copies because I've tried to email this out the last time I did training and people couldn't open it. So I do have a copy I'll give to the managers if you guys want to send them to your team or if anyone's interested in them. Okay?
What kind of things do you have in your bag, Linda? You give them 2 or 3?
Yeah. It's always, it depends on like if it's the end of the month and you're trying to book more for that prior month, I always say 3. And that really gets them, but normally it's 2 to 3. But I always have a Fresh Smart, a Rock and Serve, and a Matcha Base. Sometimes I have more than one Fresh Smart or more than one Rock and Serve because that's normally what they tend to take. But I always have bowls. They like the bowls. I have the same type of stuff, spatulas. Stuff that's new, that's out, but you don't want to give too much of the new stuff because you want them to buy that. But it's just a mixture of your stock, you know, just pull stuffables, you know, just stuff that they want, but not, you know, not a lot of the same thing, but it's, you know, always a modular made of Rock Serve for Smart and sometimes multiple, because if you got more than one person, you know, you want to give them each a shot, but you let them pick it, you know, each one at a time. So they go, if you get 3 people to date, you let them go one at a time. So not everyone's scooping up all the good stuff. But I always have at least one of each of what I'm demoing, because that's what you're, you know, they're looking at that the whole time. But people do like the bowls, and they do like the other stuff too, because that's, you know, they do want that stuff. Insulated tumblers, like stuff like that. Big stuff. Don't be afraid to give it away.
exactly.
Do you separate stuff though for like you say you're giving away 2? Is it just your pile of stuff, or do you separate them into like higher end items?
Well, if it's like 3 things, sometimes I will. Like, but if it's just 2,
so one person doesn't grab all the.
Yeah, like if it's 3 things, I might say you can pick 2 from this pile and 1 from that. But like when I have it on the floor, it's all in one big display. Yeah.
What do you do if they cancel and they've already gotten like their free things that like they wait and give them their supersize, so that's really all that's missing.
Never say cancel,
But like
always reschedule.
Always just try to
what if they
reschedule.
constantly reschedule?
Well, you can call for a year.
Yeah, I mean, typically, you know, they will reschedule. I mean, I haven't had somebody, not lots of people going where I'm like chasing, but you know, and you do typically, people have say, I'll pay you for the Tupperware that I took from you, or, you know, stuff like that, but typically they will reschedule, hopefully. I mean, that's your goal, to get them to reschedule within that month or the, you know, the next few weeks.
You remind them that they took prizes from you.
Yeah.
I mean, you took 3 gifts from me at your party.
And the fact that you tell, see, my thing is when I tell them that the hostess gets credit for them booking that show, that kind of locks them in. So when they leave the party that night, it's really, I've had a lot of luck with it because they're really leaving thinking that they cannot cancel on you because she got credit for it. There are people out there that will. It's just the bottom line, and it just happens. But, you know, definitely, you know, things happen, it's life, whatever, kids, whatever. But they leave there thinking that she got credit for the booking, which she did. I mean, that's typically what happens, especially with the bonus credits and all that. But when you tell them when they play the game that the hostess is getting credit for it, they have that in their head. And if it's the sister of the credit, I go back to that hostess. And I go, so-and-so cancel, you know, blah, 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 and she's helping you out. I mean, hopefully you're made a friend, you know, or a you know, future customer. I always go back to that hostess. And it's helped me, and they reschedule, and they don't reschedule, don't let them reschedule 3 months down the road or whatever. You try to get them to reschedule within that, you know, 4 weeks or 6 weeks, and it just works. And they know they took the Tupperware from you, so. I haven't run into people running far, far away. You know, they're just stealing your stuff. But it happens. I mean, it just happens. You know what I mean?
And one of the things that you could do to help remember, because I have a really
I
bad
write it
memory,
down.
and yeah, Melissa, I got this off of Melissa, is when you do your door prize slips, you say in front of everybody, you know, Mary, what did you take again out of the grab bag? And she'll say, oh, the Rock and Serve, you know, or she'll say the Fridge Smart one or something. You write that down on her door prize slip, and then you say, oh, what was it that you're supersizing? And, you know, and you write that down. And then when you go home, you staple it in a folder, with a vanilla folder with their name on it, and then you've got it right there. So when they call and they're, you know, and you're doing a reminder call, or you're saying something, you know, how are you enjoying that, you know, Fridge Smart, you know, or something like that. And then when they want to reschedule, then at least you've got the notes right there in front of you, and you can remember exactly what they take, because if you say exactly what they took, then they're like, oh, okay, I better reschedule this. Yeah.